We continue the basketball conversation here on the Sports Cubicle. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. Thank you all for making us a part of your day. And it has not been all sunshine and rainbows in the National Basketball Association and in the Los Angeles area, because this story has been one that really has people raising their eyebrows. This comes to us from Yahoo Sports. Ian Castleberry, former Clippers trainer, suing team, says he was fired for voicing concerns over Kawhi Leonard injuries. A former trainer with the Los Angeles Clippers is suing the team for wrongful termination, claiming he was dismissed for raising concerns over the treatment Kawhi Leonard was receiving for his injuries. Randy Shelton is claiming a lawsuit that he was fired after complaining Kawhi Leonard was being subjected to unsafe and illegal treatments for injuries, reported by Chris Haynes. The Clippers responded with a statement to Haynes disputing the claims. Mr. Shelton claims were investigated and found to be without merit. We honored Mr. Shelton's employment contract and paid him in full, the statement read. This lawsuit is a blatant attempt to shake down the Clippers based on accusations that Mr. Shelton should know are false. Shelton was hired by the Clippers as part of an effort to recruit Leonard as a free agent. This is according to Shelton. His relationship with Leonard goes back to when he was a strength and conditioning coach at San Diego State, where the NBA player was a college basketball star from 2009 to 2011. Quote, following Leonard's departure from SDSU and his selection in the 2011 NBA draft to the San Antonio Spurs, Shelton was hired by Leonard to continue with work with Leonard and prepare him for the NBA. The lawsuit says Leonard and Shelton maintain a personal and working relationship through 2017. The document continues by saying that the Clippers' assistant general manager, Mark Hughes, quote, began pursuing Leonard through Shelton while Leonard was still under contract with the Spurs, with the executive allegedly seeking private health information on Leonard and attempting to learn his contract requirements and medical situation. Leonard signed with the Clippers before the 2019-20 season, and Shelton was hired at the time. After Leonard suffered a torn ACL during the NBA playoffs in 2021, he underwent surgery, and Shelton claimed in the suit he told the team the timeline for Leonard's recovery was 730 days. Simply put, this recovery timetable was unacceptable to the Clippers, the lawsuit claims. Leonard eventually sat out the 2021-2022 season while recovering. And you can check out the entire article over at Yahoo Sports by Ian Castleberry, former Clippers trainer suing team, says he was fired for voicing concerns over Kawhi Leonard injuries. So this is going to be something that we're going to be talking about a little bit throughout the entire edition of the Sports Cubicle is injuries, playing time, pain management, time management with these players. But specifically this story. When it comes to injuries, it's always something with Kawhi, right? Have we ever seen a more dominant impact player that is less likely to play a game? Maybe Joel Embiid, that we'll talk about in just a little bit. This is a story, though, that I think is bigger than just the player. Let's take away Kawhi Leonard, his history, his greatness, his drawbacks, whatever. Take that all to the side. All organizations do this tampering. This story is a little bit, it seems more nefarious because of timetables and, hey, I think the recovery is nearly 2.5 years. And the organization's like, that is not going to be cool enough. No, absolutely not. We need him on the court. I can understand both sides. This is a story where we know teams tamper. The Bulls tamper to get Lonzo. We know teams tamper to try to get free agents and find out medical history and interest of whether they want to go there or not from the agents, from best friends, from girlfriends, from boyfriends. It doesn't matter. All that all happens. But let's just sit here for a second. Let's say what this lawsuit or these claims are. This one specific one that's highlighted. If you're the trainer, yeah, if I tell you that my guy can't play for 2 years, he can't play for 2 years. You're paying me to give you my diagnosis, my expertise. This is what I believe is the outcome if you want the best scenario to play out for your organization. And if you're the organization, that's not good enough. Why am I paying you this much money? Why am I investing this much money to not have a fast surgery, a quick recovery, being able to make programs that are better than other programs and other stars? That's why we're paying you so much money, so you could do better jobs than other people. I understand all that. Each body is different. Each recovery time is different. Every surgery is different. Every procedure, every physical therapy is different. But I think this lawsuit it's definitely going to be clouding people's opinion now, right? Palmer and the Clippers and everybody, they're going to throw shade to the Clippers. And this is after the Clippers they open up their new arena. Paul George is out of there. And it's just a new time for the Clippers, good or bad. Just a new time. The story comes out. It's fascinating that it will warp the way some people think about Kawhi or the Clippers. But the bottom line is all this happens throughout sports, every sport. People tamper, try to find out information, and organizations want their guys to get back faster. And agents and personal doctors want to be cautious and don't want their guys to rush out there. That's all of sports. That's from the beginning of time of competitive sports when people started getting paid real money to do this. Do I think the Clippers are wrong if they try to rush Kawhi Leonard back in an unreasonable amount of time? Yes. Do I think that this trainer or this physical staff is being unreasonable by saying it's going to take 3 years and you have to be patient? Yeah. The happy medium is there's no way around it. It's going to take 2 years to fully recover. Then both people have to come into basketball Jesus moment of, is this what's best for us? Is this what we want to do? Do you just want to cash checks? Do you want to make a good living the rest of your life and be a journeyman? Do you want to take this seriously and get healthy? Are we okay with that? Are we okay with that investment, with that timetable? But the shadiness that happens because jobs are on the line, millions and millions of dollars are on the line, new stadiums, fan bases, that's when it gets this dirty. But I think both sides are right and both sides are wrong. The only people who lose always in this situation are the player, because they're the ones who have their body go through this, the recovery, the surgeries, all that, and the fans who don't get to see their favorite players, who don't get to see the matchups. So it's an interesting story to see how it plays out. It's going to be very interesting to see how the NBA takes this, to see how far this goes in the judicial system and how this impacts how teams help and are open with recovery for players. Heck, here in Chicago, during that entire Derrick Rose time, the Bulls did him dirty. Derrick didn't help himself. It was not a good situation. And this happens in the NBA a lot. The NFL has the concussion thing. The NBA has this when it comes to just weirdness of injuries and the cloak that they hide behind. And I'm not talking about just about the players, just the entire thing. So it'll be something we keep our eye on. But this is another story that I wanted to talk about, and it has to deal with injuries here on the Sports Cubicle. I'm your host, Mike Mercado, and hopefully you are having a great day as the NBA is in full swing. It's a busy time of the year. We have the World Series. NHL is back, and of course, the National Football League is king, and the NBA has brought us some juicy stories, and this one comes to us from CBS News. NBA likely to investigate Philadelphia 76ers over Joel Embiid's player participation, report says. This is from Tom Ignudo from CBS News. The NBA is likely to investigate the Philadelphia 76ers about Joel Embiid's player participation, according to a report from ESPN on Wednesday. The report comes as Embiid is out for the Sixers' Wednesday night season opener against former Sixers coach Doc Rivers and the Milwaukee Bucks with an knee injury. Embiid, who signed a $193 million contract extension before training camp, did not play in the preseason with the Sixers, called left knee management. On Tuesday, the Sixers said the former NBA MVP will not play this week and will be reevaluated during the weekend. The team said that Embiid is, quote, responding well to his individualized plan and is expected to ramp up his return to play activities this week, including scrimmaging. Embiid was limited to 39 regular season games last season and underwent knee surgery. He returned for the playoffs against the New York Knicks, but also played through Bell's palsy in the series, which that was absolutely insane. Embiid recently told ESPN that he would, quote, probably never play back-to-backs the rest of my career to ensure he's healthy for the playoffs. Along with Embiid, the Sixers will be without Paul George in the opener against the Bucks. George, the 9-time All-Star who signed a max contract with the Sixers in the offseason, suffered a hyperextended knee last week in a preseason game against the Atlanta Hawks. An MRI showed a bone bruise, but no structure damage in the knee. The Sixers said the 34-year-old will miss at least Wednesday's game and be reevaluated later in the week. Philadelphia plays Toronto on Friday at Indiana on Sunday. Check out the entire article over at CBS News. NBA likely to investigate Philadelphia 76ers over Joel Embiid's player participation, report says. Guys, it's the first week of the season. It's the first week of the season. I'm not going to sit here and just torch Joel Embiid. Who knows what that man's feet and knees and legs and back must feel like. But to be so, I guess, candid, but callous, unaware, just not caring, to say, I'm not playing back-to-backs anymore. Sorry, I make too much money. I can make too much money, and it hurts too much. I'm only going to play when I need to and for the playoffs. I understand the sentiment in one way. Because if, let's say, we had these Iron Men in the NBA like we used to, where they play all 82, they're all going to be hurt and they're all going to suck come the playoff time. But then, if we have guys only playing the minimum 52 so they could get all the awards and all the official stats and their contracts, the ball sucks come playoff time because they haven't played enough games with each other. Oh, and then they get hurt anyway. There is no win-win here. The only win-win, I guess, or the only solution would be eliminated as many back-to-backs as you can, separate them, make the season longer, not more games. For God's sake, don't add any more games, but make the season longer so you can spread the games out more. I don't think it matters. These players have so much power. Again, I'm for labor. So this is not against players and having power against multi-billionaires. But they have all the power. They can do what they want. They can say what they want. And at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is the NBA is a star player-driven league. It's not the NFL. It's not Major League Baseball. It's not NHL. We're seeing this at the WNBA. It's a star-driven league. The stars do what the stars want. And I believe that there's no real solution to this. Because you're also in ring culture in the NBA. The only thing that matters is championships. The only thing that gets you contracts is stats. So when you don't see guys putting up, buzzer beaters at the other end of the court in the first quarter so they could keep their field goal percentage up, that's a business decision. It's also a business decision that if I have a messed up knee and I have a contract that's up in 2 years and this new TV deal is coming up and I can make $70 million as the 12th man on the bench, I'm not going to play it. If I'm LeBron James, Giannis, hell, even Embiid, and I know schmucks like me or more like hot take artists on the mainstream or all over the socials, the only thing I'm going to be judged on is not how much I play, but when I play, where I played, and what I won. The sacrifice to that is they're going to complain regardless that I didn't play enough. But the NBA has an optics problem. It has a problem where the fans don't believe in these players. These fans don't trust these players. And I think more importantly, the NBA has a optics problem in laziness, that their players just don't want to play. And you can't have that in this society. And there's people like us who appreciate the game. We see some amazing stuff on Tuesdays and Thursdays and Fridays on national and whatever the case is. But this is not it if you're the NBA. And I don't think it's great to hear Embiid say this just so upfront, knowing how much money he makes and how a lot of NBA players come off to the fan base that has bad faith arguments as disingenuous and not caring. This is just adding fuel to that fire. So Adam Silver needs to get ahead of this now. Right now, when all the other sports are trending up in ratings, and the NBA has been the one that slowly, while having this growth and making its money and signing these new deals, has been the one that hasn't seen that same growth. Got to get ahead of this now. We want to know your thoughts. These injuries, this time management, these stories that are going on in the NBA right now, do they discourage you? Do they frustrate you? Do they annoy you? Let us know. We're on Twitter at Sports Cubicle TV. I'm on Twitter at Mike M Media. Instagram, Mike Mercado Media. Make sure you guys subscribe to us on YouTube at The Sports Cubicle. Search us wherever you get your podcast at Sports from the Couch or WCPT 820 SoundCloud. Just search The Sports Cubicle and search us at The Sports Cubicle at heartlandsignal.com. Thank you for all the support at Lucha Dog. Get your copy right now as the holiday season gets near for a favorite child of yours over at Amazon, searching Luchadog or at luchadog.com. And if you want more Bears content, check out the new podcast, Bear Era, brought to you by Blue Wire Podcast. It's EJ Snyder, Kieran Hall, and myself, Mike Mercado, talking Chicago Bears. We got a whole lot left on this edition of the Sports Cubicle. I'm your host, Mike Mercado.